Welcome to lab number 6 of AZ-900. We're going to create a SQL database. We're again here in our lab environment, and you can immediately see SQL databases here on the front page. So let's go through that. Let's create one. And we're starting off with basics here. So we have a resource group pre-created, and note that we're now defining a database here, right? So let's call it database 1. Now a database needs a server to run on, right? And we currently don't have any here, so we also need to create that, right? So this is how it works in Azure. You create a database, but then you need to also create a server to run that database. Cool. So we're going to call this SQL Server deep. Yeah, it's available. Cool. Let's put it into East US. For authentication, we have different kinds of options. So either Entra or SQL or both. We're just going to use SQL authentication because we don't really have Entra available here. The admin is going to be a SQL user, and it's going to have a password that is complicated. Okay, so now we've defined what the server should look like. Then the actual continuation of the database definition is over here, right? So we have the possibility to select either workload, development workload or production workload. The production is, generally speaking, larger. Note that we also have information about the compute that is being available that we could change. We're just going to go with the defaults for now. Going onwards to networking. Over here, we want to have a public endpoint so that we can connect to it. And we want to allow, Azure services and resources to be able to access the server. However, we don't want to access it from our current IP, so like from this machine that I'm working on right now. Then under security, Defender for SQL is available. However, we don't want that for this particular demo. And then we're going to use a sample database. So this is this AdventureWorks LT database that gets so that we have some content in our database once it gets up. So then we just create, and this is going to take a couple of minutes, and we wait for that. All right, so that's done. Next up, let's go and take a look at our database. You can see here it's on the server SQL Server Deep, and it's database 1. There is a query editor over here that allows us to connect to the database directly from our browser. I'm going to use the SQL user login as well as the password that we defined earlier to log in. And you know what it says? Cannot open server. Why? Well, because we didn't allow connections from our IP address, and this browser is running in our IP address. Okay, so let's go and change that. All right, and over here, there are a couple of different things that we can do, as you can see directly from the home page, I would say. One of them is here on top, set server firewall, all right? And it's just a shortcut to networking down here. And what we need to do here is add our client IPv4 address to the firewall, like this. And then we just save this. And you can see that it successfully updated the server firewall rules. And now, if we go back, oops. Now, if we go back, to our database, db1, and then the query editor, and now try to log in again. Oops, I think I mistyped that. Now it allows us to log in, and then we have this pretty basic kind of looking query window here. And that basically means that we can run any kind of SQL we want here. So I've got some ready-made SQL here, so which gives us top 20 category names or product names. Both, right? And then we can see the results here at the bottom as well. So a fairly simple way to connect to the database, and still secure because we're using HTTPS in here. Okay, that's it for this lab. We created a SQL database as well as a server here, and then we checked that it actually works, and we found how to connect to it via the query editor from the Azure portal directly. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you again in the next lab. Bye.